of the Voting Rights Act and could reshape black political representation across the South. The decision has already set off new legal and political fallout in Louisiana and beyond. Joining me now are two lawmakers on the front lines of this fight. Congresswoman Yvette Clarke of New York, she is the sitting chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, and Congressman Benny Thompson of Mississippi, ranking member of the House Homeland Security Committee. Congresswoman Clarke, you currently chair the Congressional Black Caucus at a moment when the Supreme Court has just weakened one of the strongest tools black voters have had under the Voting Rights Act. By some estimates, according to reporting from the Associated Press, more than 70 of the 435 congressional districts are protected by Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, including seats held by members of your caucus. How much damage could this do to the CBC's power in Congress, not just in terms of seats, but in terms of the communities, the issues, and the voices that those members represent?
Well, Reverend, this is a devastating blow. There's no doubt about it. We can't sugarcoat it. This is something that will impact communities for generations to come if the Congress does not act. We recognize that so many of our members have been covered under the Voting Rights Act, both Section 8 and Section 2. Section 8, we know, went down in flames not too long ago. Here we are, Section 2 is gutted. And so we have a very serious matter before us, and it's going to take state by state, litigation by litigation, voter registration at a massive level to overcome what these folks have cooked up. And
massive turnout following that.
Absolutely.
Congressman Thompson, you're the longest serving black member of the House, representing Mississippi since 1993. Please talk about the significance of black Southern lawmakers and what our country stands to lose if they are becoming an endangered species.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Rev. The best thing I can tell you is 60 years ago, we did not have a single black member of the United States House of Representatives from the South. After the Voting Rights Act, every state in the South elected African Americans because communities of interest were consolidated and not divided. And so what we had was a further growth of black influence in the blackest part of America. And so for that period of 60 years, we have done what's right. We've registered, we've voted, we've supported the candidates of our choice. And now this court summarily has discharged all of that and said, well, it's over. Now, what I call your attention to, Reverend, more than that, is just since last week, all these governors have absolutely gone berserk trying to get to redistricting. All of a sudden, this is so bad. If you look at the black members in Congress from the South, they've supported health care, they've supported housing, they've supported better education, they've supported transportation program, everything that's been afforded to lift people off the bottom. Members of the Congressional Black Caucus have been in the forefront of making that happen. Now, there's a rush to the bottom to get rid of black members so that these areas in the South can go back to that. But you know, Reverend, this is equivalent to a second Civil War. We're going to have to get our act together. As everybody's saying, we're going to have to resist with every fiber in our body. We're going to have to take this system on at every election, because it's not just members of Congress. We're talking about state legislatures. We're talking about county commissions. We're talking about city councils.
Down to city councils.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everywhere.
It's just about members of Congress.
Congresswoman Clarke, what is the Black Caucus doing in response? How is it mobilizing members to do what Congressman is talking about, to push back on this and to carry the fight into the midterms?
Well, we anticipated that this could be the outcome of the Calais case. And we have built out an architecture with all of our allies, particularly those organizations nationally that have local chapters across the nation. We're mobilizing. We're going to get on the ground. We know that our communities need to hear from us, need to know what the truth is, and need to be inspired to come out and to vote, to register as many unregistered voters as they possibly can. This is really a call to democratic arms, if you will. We need to make sure that we utilize and maximize our power through our franchise. And that's the goal here. We're going to be speaking, clergy are a part of this. They've been reaching out. We've been getting a lot of support to members of the Congressional Black Caucus, not only for us, but it's a symbiotic relationship, knowing that we represent the vast majority of African Americans in this country, not only in our districts, but quite frankly, across the United States.
Congressman Thompson, this ruling could also impact your own seat. Is it at risk? And more importantly, what message is this ruling sending to the next generation of talented black politicians in Mississippi who may see no road to serving their home state in Congress as a result of this ruling?
Well, no question about it. Before the Voting Rights Act, there wasn't a single person in the legislature in the state of Mississippi that's known United States Congress. After the Voting Rights Act, we were able to craft a district that had that. But going forward, Reverend, all the Republican legislatures in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, they drew these districts. And now all of a sudden they're